Did you know that 80% of people over 65 are making a serious mistake with their diet? A silent mistake that is accelerating the aging of their bones, weakening their memory day by day, and destroying their muscle mass without them even realizing it. And what's most concerning is that many believe they're eating well. They think that avoiding fats, drinking a green juice occasionally, or eating salads is enough. But the reality is very different. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 foods that every person over 65 should consume without exception. Foods that science has proven can strengthen your bones, protect your brain, and keep your muscles strong for many more years. But be careful, because there's one in particular, number 3, that most people avoid thinking it's harmful, when in reality it's the most powerful of them all. For decades, they lied to us about this food, and today I'm going to tell you the truth. And at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the most serious mistakes people make when consuming these foods. Mistakes that completely nullify their benefits. Stay with me until the last minute, because what I'm going to tell you can completely change the way you eat starting today. Hello, I'm Dr. Cezar Villarreal. I've spent more than 15 years dedicated to clinical nutrition and preventive medicine, and in all this time I've treated thousands of patients over 65. I've seen firsthand how incorrect nutrition destroys the health of people who could be living with energy, vitality, and without pain. What hurts me most as a doctor is seeing patients who come to my office when it's already too late. People with advanced osteoporosis who fracture their hip from a simple fall. People with memory loss who no longer recognize their grandchildren. People with muscles so weak they can't even climb stairs or get up from a chair without help. And when I review their diet, I discover they've been making mistakes for years that could have easily been avoided. Mistakes that nobody explained to them. That's why I created this channel. My mission is to bring you clear information based on real science, on proven studies, but explained in a way you can understand and apply starting today in your kitchen. You don't need expensive supplements, complicated diets, or miracle products. You only need to know the right foods and how to consume them properly. And that's exactly what we're going to see today. Let me tell you something that very few doctors tell you openly, and that you need to hear. After 65, your body no longer forgives dietary mistakes like when you were 30 or 40. What used to go unnoticed now accumulates. Every oversight, every incorrect meal, every nutrient you lack, silently adds up until one day it explodes in the form of disease. I want you to ask yourself these questions honestly. Has it happened to you that you wake up in the morning with stiff bones, as if your body weighed twice as much as normal, that you need several minutes to be able to move normally, that you enter a room and suddenly completely forget why you went there, that you have a word on the tip of your tongue but can't remember it, that you feel your muscles no longer respond like before, that you get tired with any minimal effort, like climbing stairs or carrying grocery bags? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need to pay close attention to what I'm going to tell you. This is not normal for your age. This is not something you simply have to accept. This is your body screaming at you that it's lacking essential nutrients. It's an alarm signal you cannot ignore. I remember perfectly Mrs. Carmen, a 7-1-year-old patient. She arrived at my office, dragging her feet, leaning on a cane she could barely hold. Her daughter accompanied her because she no longer felt safe going out alone. She told me through tears, "Doctor, 5 years ago I carried my grandchildren in my arms. I took them to the park, played with them, chased them around the house. Today I can't even open a jar of jam. My hands have no strength, my legs tremble, and sometimes I forget my own grandchildren's names." When I reviewed her diet, I discovered something that broke my heart. Mrs. Carmen had been avoiding exactly the foods her body needed most for years. She thought she was eating healthy, but she was actually malnourishing her bones, muscles, and brain. And it's not an isolated case. The studies are alarming. After 65, we lose between 1% and 2% of muscle mass each year if we don't do anything about it. That means in 10 years, you could lose up to 20% of your strength. Bone density decreases drastically, especially in women after menopause. And the brain, that wonderful organ that makes us who we are, begins to deteriorate if it doesn't receive the right nutrients. But here comes the good news. All of this can be prevented and even reversed in many cases with the right foods. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Before continuing with the foods, I want to pause and speak directly to your heart. I know what I just said may generate concern, maybe even fear. Perhaps you recognized yourself in some of those situations I described. Maybe you thought of yourself or your spouse or your parents or a close family member going through this. I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. In the comments of this channel, there are thousands of people who have gone through exactly what you're going through. People from Mexico, Spain, Argentina, Colombia, from all Spanish-speaking countries. People who have shared their experiences, their fears, their doubts, and also their victories. People who applied these tips and saw real changes in their health. This is not just a community of viewers. It's a family that supports each other. I invite you to leave a comment below telling me, what is your biggest concern with your diet right now? What symptoms have you noticed lately? From what city or country are you watching me? I promise someone from this community, or myself when I can, will respond to you. Here, no one is alone. And if you're not yet part of this family, this is the perfect time to subscribe and activate the bell. That way you won't miss any video where we'll continue taking care of your health together. Very well. Now yes, the most important moment of this video has arrived. What I'm about to reveal are the 5 foods that can completely transform your health after 65. They're not exotic or expensive foods. You don't need to go to specialized stores or spend a fortune. They're foods you probably already know, but maybe you're not consuming or not consuming correctly. I'm going to explain the first food, which strengthens your muscles and brain at the same time. It's a protein source that many avoid because of a myth that has been completely debunked by science. Then you'll discover the second food, which is fundamental for your bones, but most people consume incorrectly or insufficiently. The third will surprise you greatly, because for decades they told us it was bad for health, and it turns out to be exactly the opposite. This food is pure medicine for your heart and brain. But I want to ask you something special. Pay close attention to food number 4. Because although it seems obvious and simple, there's a secret in the quantity and variety that makes the difference between taking advantage of its benefits or wasting them completely. Are you ready? Take notes if you can, because this is worth gold. Let's begin. Food 1, chicken eggs. The first food that should definitely be in your diet is chicken eggs. And before you say, but doctor, eggs raise cholesterol, let me tell you the truth that science has discovered in recent years. For decades, they drilled into our heads that eating eggs was dangerous, that they raised cholesterol, that we should limit ourselves to 1 per day maximum, or even avoid them completely. Millions of people stopped eating eggs because of this fear. But this was based on a fundamental misunderstanding about how our body works. The most recent research, published in the world's most prestigious scientific journals, has demonstrated something that changed everything we thought we knew. The cholesterol you eat has minimal impact on your blood cholesterol. Why? Because 80% of the cholesterol in your body is produced by your own liver. Your body regulates production according to what you eat. If you eat more cholesterol, your liver produces less. If you eat less, it produces more. That's right. Even people who never eat eggs in their life can have high cholesterol due to genetic factors, sedentary lifestyle, stress, or other metabolic problems. The egg is not the villain they made us believe. So, what do eggs do for your body after 65? Many good things. First, they're an exceptional source of high-quality protein. The albumin in the egg, the protein in the white, is almost completely absorbed by your body. It has a practically perfect amino acid profile. This means it helps your body maintain and rebuild muscle mass very efficiently. This is absolutely crucial to combat sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss that makes you feel weak, tired, and dependent on others. Every egg you eat is one more brick in building strong muscles. Second, eggs contain choline in the yolk. This is a nutrient that 90% of older people don't get in sufficient quantities, and it's a tragedy because choline is fundamental for your brain. Choline helps produce acetylcholine, an essential neurotransmitter for memory, learning, and concentration. It also protects the liver and keeps the membranes of all your cells healthy. Without enough choline, your brain literally cannot function well. Additionally, eggs help your body synthesize collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm, your joints flexible, and your organs in place. I remember Mr. Roberto, a 8-year-old patient. He came to my office very worried because he was forgetting everything, where he left his keys, doctor's appointments, even his grandchildren's birthdays. His wife was scared, thinking it was the beginning of something serious. I did a complete evaluation and discovered his diet was very poor in choline and proteins. I suggested he incorporate 2 eggs daily into his breakfast, prepared with the yolk slightly creamy. 6 weeks later, he called me excited. Doctor, my wife can't believe it. I no longer lose my keys. I remember all my appointments. I'm even helping my grandson with his math homework. I feel 10 years younger. A very important tip about preparation. Cook eggs so the yolk remains slightly liquid or creamy, not completely hard. When you cook the yolk until it's dry and green around the edges, you destroy part of the choline and other heat-sensitive nutrients. And always Always wash the eggs before cooking them. Bacteria like salmonella are on the shell, not inside the egg. A good wash eliminates that risk. How many eggs can you eat? For most healthy older people, 2 or 3 eggs a day is perfectly safe and beneficial. But eggs are just the beginning. The next food is fundamental for something that worries almost all older people, bone health, and many are consuming it incorrectly. Food 2, natural hard cheese. The second essential food that should be in your diet is natural hard cheese. And I'm not talking about those processed cheeses that come in plastic slices or cans. I'm referring to real, natural, cured cheese. Manchego cheese, Parmesan cheese, Swiss cheese, cured goat cheese. Why is cheese so important? Because it's one of the most concentrated sources of calcium that exists in nature. And after 65, calcium becomes literally vital for your survival. Osteoporosis and osteopenia are silent epidemics affecting millions of older people, especially women after menopause. Over the years, bone density decreases. Bones become porous, fragile, like cookies that can break with any blow. Do you know what's one of the main causes of loss of independence in older people? Hip fractures from falls. A simple fall that at 30 would mean nothing, at 70 can mean a fracture that leaves you bedridden for months or worse. And the main cause of these fractures is lack of calcium in the diet. Here's the problem I constantly see in my office. Many people try to get calcium from milk, but have lactose intolerance. It causes them gas, bloating, discomfort. So they stop consuming dairy completely, and their bones pay the price. Hard cheese offers a perfect solution. During the curing process, most of the lactose breaks down. That's why many people who don't tolerate milk can eat cured cheese without problems. And the best part, with just 100 to 130 grams of hard cheese per day, you cover your daily calcium needs. That's equivalent to about 3 or 4 medium slices. It's much easier and more pleasant than trying to drink a liter of milk. In addition to calcium, cheese also provides high-quality proteins that help keep your muscles strong. And strong muscles mean better support for your bones and lower risk of falls. It's a virtuous circle. Choose natural cheeses, not processed. Read labels. If the ingredient list has more than 5 components or includes things you can't pronounce, it's not real cheese. True cheese has milk, salt, rennet, and perhaps some bacteria for curing. Nothing more. Now comes the food I'm most excited to share with you, because for years the industry and media lied to us about it. Food. 3. Oily fish. The third food is oily fish. Salmon, herring, mackerel, sardines, tuna. And this is the food many people avoid for fear of fats, when in reality it contains the most beneficial fats that exist for humans. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids. These compounds are true guardians of your health, and I'm going to explain exactly why. First, omega-3 seconds reduce triglycerides in your blood. Elevated triglycerides are a huge risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. Every time you eat oily fish, you're literally cleaning your blood and protecting your heart. Second, omega-3 seconds keep your arteries elastic and flexible. With age, arteries tend to harden and become rigid, which makes circulation difficult and increases blood pressure. Omega-3 seconds combat this process naturally, keeping your cardiovascular system young and functioning properly. Third, and this is what impresses me most, omega-3 seconds are fundamental for your brain. Your brain is largely composed of fat, and it needs omega-3 to function properly. Scientific studies have shown that people who consume fish regularly have better memory, better concentration capacity, and lower risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. At a stage of life where protecting your mind is an absolute priority, oily fish becomes natural medicine. Every serving you eat is an investment in your brain's health. Fourth, omega-3 seconds also reduce inflammation throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is behind many diseases: arthritis, joint pain, digestive problems, and even depression. Oily fish is a natural anti-inflammatory. My recommendation: consume oily fish at least 2 or 3 times a week. If salmon is out of your budget, don't worry at all. Sardines, herring, and mackerel are just as good in omega-3 and much more economical. Canned sardines are an excellent and very accessible option. A crucial detail about preparation: never ever fry fish in abundant oil. When you fry fish, omega-3 seconds are destroyed by excessive heat and become harmful fats. Additionally, you add empty calories and unnecessary saturated fats. The best way to prepare fish is baked, grilled with little oil, or steamed. Add lemon, garlic, fresh herbs. It's delicious and preserves all its benefits. Food for varied vegetables. The fourth essential food is vegetables, but not just any vegetable, not in any form and not in any quantity. Here's the secret most people ignore, and that makes all the difference. The goal should be to consume the greatest variety possible and reach at least half a kilo of vegetables per day. I know it sounds like a lot, but let me explain how to achieve it easily and why it's so important. A medium salad with 100 grams of cucumber, 150 grams of tomato, 50 grams of lettuce, and some spinach leaves already gives you almost half of what you need. Add cooked vegetables to lunch and dinner, and you'll reach it without any problem. Why half a kilo? Because that amount guarantees you get enough fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants for your body to function properly. Fiber is especially important after 65. Constipation is a problem affecting most older people, and the main cause is lack of fiber combined with little physical activity and low hydration. When your digestive system doesn't work well, your whole body suffers. You feel bloated, uncomfortable, without energy, in a bad mood. Fiber from vegetables keeps your intestine moving and your digestion functioning like clockwork. But there's more. Antioxidants. Vegetables are loaded with compounds that protect your cells from oxidative damage, strengthen your immune system, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases, including several types of cancer. And here comes the important secret. Each color of vegetable offers different benefits. Green vegetables like spinach and broccoli are rich in vitamin K and folic acid. Red and orange ones like tomatoes and carrots have beta-carotenes and lycopene. Purple ones like red cabbage have anthocyanins. That's why variety is absolutely key. If you only eat lettuce and tomato all week, you're missing hundreds of nutrients that other vegetables offer. Mrs. Esperanza, a 74-year-old patient, told me that since she started eating half a kilo of varied vegetables every day, her digestion improved completely in 2 weeks. She no longer needs laxatives, has more energy during the day, sleeps better at night, and even lost those extra pounds that were affecting her knees. And now we come to the last food, one that, besides being food 5, berries. The 5th food that shouldn't be missing from your diet is berries. Blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, mulberries. These small fruits are true bombs of concentrated nutrients. Berries are loaded with antioxidants, especially compounds called polyphenols and anthocyanins that give them those intense colors. These compounds have been scientifically proven to improve memory, protect neurons, and improve overall cognitive function. Oxidative stress and chronic inflammation are 2 of the main enemies of your brain with age. They're like rust that gradually deteriorates your neurons. Berries combat both naturally, acting as a protective shield for your brain. Studies conducted at prestigious universities have shown that older people who consume berries regularly have better short-term memory, better learning capacity, and less cognitive decline over the years. My recommendation is to vary the berries according to season and availability. Blueberries 1 week, strawberries the next, blackberries after. Each type of berry offers a unique profile of vitamins and antioxidants, so by varying, you maximize the benefits. Additionally, berries are low in calories and rich in fiber, which helps control weight and maintain satiety without adding sugar to your diet. They're the perfect afternoon snack. You can add them to breakfast with oatmeal or natural yogurt, eat them alone as a snack, mix them in salads, or even freeze them to have them available all year. A very important warning, avoid canned berries or those in syrup. Those are full of added sugar that completely nullifies their benefits and turns them into an unhealthy dessert. Always fresh or frozen without added sugar. If you've gotten to this point in the video, I want to sincerely congratulate you from the heart, because that tells me you really care about your health, that you're willing to learn new things, and that you have the determination to apply what works. That puts you ahead of 90% of people who simply complain about their health problems but do nothing to change them. And precisely because you got here, what comes now is especially for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the most serious mistakes people make when consuming these foods. Mistakes I've seen over and over in my office. Mistakes that completely destroy all the benefits we just saw, and that turn healthy foods into a waste of time. There's one mistake in particular that 90% of people make without having the slightest idea. When you hear it, you'll probably think, I do that, or I know someone who does that. This is information I normally only share with my patients in private consultation. But if you got to this point in the video, you've earned it. You deserve to know. So pay close attention to what follows, because it can mark the difference between seeing real results in your health or continuing to struggle without understanding why nothing works. Ready? This is what nobody tells you. Common mistakes. Now, before you run out to buy these foods and start consuming them, I need to warn you about the mistakes that can completely ruin your effort. Mistakes I see every day that break my heart, because with small adjustments, the difference would be enormous. Asterisk, asterisk. Mistake number one, cooking eggs until the yolk is completely hard, asterisk, asterisk. When you cook eggs until the yolk is dry, grayish-green around the edges, and with a chalky texture, you're destroying much of the choline and other heat-sensitive nutrients. The yolk should remain slightly creamy, bright yellow in color to preserve its benefits. Soft-boiled eggs, soft scrambled eggs, or fried with liquid yolk are the best options. Asterisk, asterisk. Mistake number two, consuming processed cheese, thinking it's the same as natural cheese. Asterisk, asterisk. Those cheeses that come in individual slices wrapped in plastic or in aerosol cans or that melt perfectly like plastic are not real cheese. They're ultra-processed products full of chemicals, preservatives, and poor quality fats. They have very little real calcium and many substances your body doesn't need. Always, always choose natural cured cheese that you can see comes from a whole piece. Asterisk, asterisk. Mistake number three, frying fish in abundant oil. Asterisk, asterisk. This is probably the most serious mistake of all. When you fry fish, especially in refined vegetable oils at high temperature, the precious omega-3 seconds are destroyed and oxidized. They become trans fats, which are the most harmful that exist. Additionally, you add hundreds of empty calories. It's like taking medicine and mixing it with poison. You nullify the benefit and add harm. Fish should always be prepared, baked, grilled with little oil, steamed, or even raw if it's good quality like in sushi. Asterisk, asterisk, mistake. Always eating the same vegetables. Asterisk, asterisk, mistake. If your salad is always iceberg lettuce and tomato, you're missing 80% of the benefits. Each color, each type of vegetable offers different nutrients. You need variety. Dark green, red, orange, purple, white. Spinach, broccoli, peppers, carrots, cabbage, pumpkin, beets. Rotate constantly. Asterisk, asterisk. Mistake number five, buying canned berries or those in syrup. Asterisk, asterisk. Those berries floating in sweet syrup are full of added sugar. Sugar causes inflammation, which is exactly the opposite of what we want to achieve. Always fresh, seasonal berries or frozen without added sugar. Read labels. Now that you have all this knowledge about the 5 essential foods for your health after 65, there's something very important I need to tell you. Something I couldn't leave out. What we just saw today is only part of the equation, half the story. Because let me ask you a question I want you to think about seriously. What's the use of eating the right foods if at the same time there are other foods in your refrigerator, in your pantry, on your table that are sabotaging all your effort? It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the plug open. No matter how much water you pour in, it keeps draining. You can eat all the eggs, cheese, fish, vegetables, and berries in the world, but if at the same time you're consuming foods that destroy your health, you'll never see the results you deserve. That's why, in my next video, I'm going to reveal the 5 foods you should never consume after 65. Foods that most people have in their kitchen thinking they're healthy or harmless, but that are actually silently destroying their health. I'm going to give you a small preview that I know will leave you thinking. There's a food that 95% of older people consume practically every morning. They consider it an essential part of their breakfast. They believe it's nutritious and healthy, but the reality is this: food is accelerating memory loss, weakening bones, and feeding inflammation throughout the body. When I reveal what it is in the next video, your jaw will drop, and you'll probably want to remove it from your kitchen immediately. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Before saying goodbye, I want to leave you with a thought I hope you carry with you. Every day you incorporate these 5 foods into your diet, you're making a powerful decision, a decision that goes far beyond food. You're choosing to live with energy instead of dragging yourself with fatigue. You're choosing to have strong bones that support you instead of fragile bones that limit you. You're choosing to keep your mind clear and your memory active instead of getting lost in confusion and forgetfulness. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's science. It's decisions. And you've already taken the most important step of all. You decided to inform yourself. You decided to learn. You decided to take control of your health. That's more than 90% of people do. And that's why I'm sure you're going to see results. Now, I want to ask you 3 things, and I'll explain why each one is important. First, if this video provided value, if you learned something new you didn't know, give it a like. That simple gesture helps YouTube's algorithm show this video to more people who need it. It's a way to help others without it costing you anything. Second, share it with someone who needs it. Your mom, your dad, your aunt, your neighbor, that friend you know is struggling with their health. Sometimes a simple shared video can change a life. It can be the push someone needed to start taking care of themselves. Third, subscribe, and activate the bell if you haven't already. The next video about the 5 foods to avoid is almost ready, and believe me, it's information you can't miss. I don't want you to miss it. I'm Dr. Cezar Villarreal, and this is not goodbye. It's see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself, eat well, move, and always remember after 65, your nutrition is not a luxury or an option. It's a necessity. It's medicine. It's life. Your health is in your hands and on your plate. See you very soon.